All right, so you're looking to start a career that's got massive scale and a truly global impact? You are in exactly the right place. Today, we're diving deep into the dynamic world of EPC project management. This is a field where you can literally help build the future. So let's get into it. So here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with the big picture, what EPC even is. Then we'll get real about the pros and cons. After that, we'll look at the different ways you can get your foot in the door, map out what a 15-year career could look like, and wrap up with some solid steps for landing that all-important first job. First up, let's kick things off with the fundamentals. What exactly is EPC, and why should you care? Think about it for a second. The truly huge structures out there. The refineries that keep our cars running, the power plants that light up our cities, those absolutely incredible bridges that connect countries. Ever stop and wonder who's behind all that? Well, the answer, more often than not, is the EPC industry. EPC, it's an acronym that stands for engineering, procurement, and construction. But what that really means is that a single contractor takes on the whole shebang. They handle everything from the initial engineering and design to procuring all the materials and equipment, and finally, the actual construction and handover. It's basically a turnkey solution for building really, really big things. And we're not just talking about one or two sectors here. The opportunities are just incredibly diverse. You've got everything from the classic oil and gas and power industries to massive infrastructure projects, mining, petrochemicals, and even high-tech fields like pharmaceuticals. What's great about this is the skills you learn are super transferable, which gives you way more flexibility and security in your career. Okay, it all sounds pretty epic, right? But what's it really like to work in this field? Let's get honest and take a clear look at the good stuff and the challenges you should probably expect. Look, it really comes down to a trade-off. On one hand, the benefits are incredible. You get to work all over the world, your career can grow super fast, the pay is fantastic, and you get to see these massive projects come to life because of your work. But, and this is a big but, the challenges are very real. The hours are long and demanding, the pressure to hit deadlines and stay on budget is intense, and you have to be ready to travel a lot, sometimes to pretty remote places. And just to put a number on that competitive compensation point, in a major hub for EPC projects like the Middle East, we're talking about senior management roles pulling in tax-free salaries well into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is a field that seriously rewards expertise and hard work, and that's directly tied to the high-stakes nature of managing these billion-dollar projects. Okay, so you're hooked. You're thinking, how do I even get my foot in the door? Well, the good news is there's not just one single way in. Let's explore the main entry points for someone just starting out. For most grads, your journey into EPC is going to start on one of two main paths. You can either join a big, structured graduate program where you get to see a little bit of everything, or you can jump right into a specialized track that uses your specific skills from day one. So let's break down those specialized tracks. If you're super analytical and love data, project controls could be perfect for you. You'd be managing schedules and costs using software like Primavera P6. If you're a natural negotiator, you should definitely look at procurement. And if you're someone who just wants to be on the ground, in the thick of it, well, construction management is where all the action is. Now, a lot of the big EPC contractors have these amazing graduate programs. They usually last about 1 to 2 years, and they rotate you through all the key departments. This is such a fantastic way to get a bird's eye view of the entire project lifecycle and really figure out where you fit best. So you did it. You landed the job. What happens next? What does your career actually look like over the next, say, 15 years? Let's chart that path from your first day all the way up to a leadership role. Think of this timeline as your career blueprint. Those first couple of years, it's all about building your core technical skills. Then you start handling tasks on your own. By year 5, you're probably starting to manage small teams. Around year 8, your focus shifts to bigger picture, strategic thinking. And after about 12 years, you're stepping into senior management, leading the organization. It's a really clear, steady progression. Now, along that journey, you kind of have a big choice to make. You can become a specialist, the absolute go-to expert in something like cost control. Or you can become a generalist, learning a bit about everything, which is often the quicker path to becoming a full project manager. A lot of veterans will tell you to start as a specialist, to build a rock-solid foundation, and then widen your focus later on. We've mapped out the career. Now for the most important part. How do you actually land that first job? This last section is all about your actionable game plan to get hired. Let's break this down into 4 simple, actionable steps. First, you've got to have the right educational foundation. Second, you need to build a killer resume. Third, you have to nail the interview. And fourth, you got to build your network along the way. When you're putting that resume together, you need to focus on what EPC recruiters are actually looking for. Internships, that's pure gold. Showing you know your way around key software like Primavera or AutoCAD is critical. Even an entry-level certification like the CAPM, that's the Certified Associate in Project Management, can really make you stand out. And hey, don't forget to mention any leadership roles you had in college. That shows potential. And remember this, an interview is a two-way street. It's not just them grilling you. When you ask smart questions like these, it shows you're serious. You're not just looking for a job, you're planning a career. And that is exactly the kind of person these companies want to hire. As you start this journey, I want to leave you with this piece of wisdom from an industry veteran with 4 decades of experience. The early years can be tough, but the sacrifices pay off down the line. You just have to remember to pace yourself. Your career is a marathon, not a sprint. So there you have it. We've covered the what, the why, and the how. The path is definitely challenging, but it's also incredibly rewarding, with a real chance to leave a tangible mark on the world. So the only question left is, are you ready to start building?